8 children, 5 boys and 3 girls. To be specific, we were coded. I said this because of the pill that we have 8 children. The pill aspirin. My wife took aspirin every night and never had a headache. During my wife's childbearing years, I used to work sometimes in the city for a whole week. Came home weekend. I was afraid to ask, what's new? Sometimes the conversation went like this. What's new? He said, guess what? I said, when? I said, soon. I said, sure. Six of them graduated from college, 8 have meaningful jobs. So I guess we did something right. Kids will never pampered. We use cloth diapers. And I never raised my hand against my children, except in self-defense. And look, just because there's gray hair up there, doesn't mean the furnace is out like this. You don't have sex almost all the time. I almost had to cry. I almost had to cry.
An incident that happened?
Yes. Well, I'm not exactly sure what year this happened. I think I probably was about 4 years old. And my mother and my brothers, John was about 9, I think. And my younger brother was a year, probably 3. And one day, my father's cousin, whose name was Caveney, and he died. And my father wanted to go to the funeral. And I think it was held at St. Patrick's Cathedral. And my mother and father went, long funeral. So in the meantime, she decided, well, she can't go. She has no babysitter. All my sisters and everybody were going to school, and they were all having exams. My brother John, who was about 9, said, Mom, I'll do it. And she said she was worried that maybe the others wouldn't stay home because they were having these big tests. So she let him stay home and watch us. So he watched us, and everything was fine for a while. And Dick and I, my younger brother and I, were having some fun in the house, playing games, and he was good with us. My brother John was very reliable kind of guy, My mother could depend upon him so much. He was just so great. And we used to call him Johnny on the spot. He was wonderful. So anyway, while we were there for, an hour or so, and suddenly my brother John noticed that we were beginning to act a little bit odd, a little strange. and I became unconscious, and Dick was the baby, and he was sitting. We were all sitting in chairs. I remember that, and suddenly John started to feel funny, so he got up. He said I staggered across the room, and the door was right there in the kitchen in those days, and he went out the door, and he went to the next apartment next door, and he knocked on the door. And when the lady came out, he dropped. He was knocked out. And of course, the neighbor knew something was wrong. So then she helped and saved us, you know. So my brother John was a hero. And the Daily News came and took a picture. And it was in the paper. It was in the Brooklyn Daily News, in the centerfold. And you see the three of us with blankets all wrapped around us.
We could probably find that.
I've tried everything. I've tried everything I could think of to drive.
What year?
I'm trying to find why we became, why we got carbon monoxide poisoning. I forgot to mention how that happened.
Oh, okay.
I must have. They think I did it because I was a very busy child. So they think maybe I hit the furnace somehow and it turned on with no match, no pilot light. So that's how the carbon monoxide escaped.
Or the gas.
Because you had to heat it for water.
It would have been the gas, probably. Yeah.
You had to heat that for water. Because my mother had a coal stove in the kitchen. Yeah. I was in the Glee Club. I had a very soprano voice. And my mother, I remember my mother saying she was so proud of me the day I graduated because I struggled through school. And when I finally got out of high school, and the night of the graduation, I stood up with all the girls in the Glee Club, and she said that was our proudest day, which she told me I was super special, you know. And then after that, then the war came. That was 41. That day, my cousin Frank Tracy used to always every Sunday he'd drop by to eat dinner with us. My mother was a good cook, or just to visit. And he was a big guy, and when I'd see him, he'd always hit me, you know, friendly, in the you know, like the. That was one thing he always used to do. So that particular Sunday, he said to Mother, "Are you coming downstairs?" Because my mother always had a nice dinner down in the dining room, and he said, "No, Aunt Mary, I think I'll stay up here. I want to watch the ball game." So he was watching the ball game, and then they interrupted the ball game. And he ran downstairs. I remember that like it was yesterday. And he said, "Oh, Aunt Mary, they just bombed Pearl Harbor." So then that was changed all our lives. Everything changed from that time on. And Nutch Mama and Nutch Papa, that's my husband's parents, they had a very bad accident in Flemington. My mother-in-law got a bad neck. She had trouble with that. And so my father-in-law had to borrow my husband's car. So that's the reason why I met Ted, because he was borrowing somebody else's car, and somebody else was a friend of my sister, and that's how we met. And so that's how I met him, and he said, I wasn't impressed with you because you were chewing gum. I saw you, and Mary introduced me, and he said, but then, after the dance was over, we all had to go in Tom's car, and we went to some little bar out in Long Island. There were a couple of nice places out there. There was one place called the Canary Club. That was a fun place. A lot of little different bars. So we went there, and then he got to know me. Ted got to know me a little better after one Manhattan, I guess, and him too. So.
How do you make a good Manhattan?
I don't know, but
apparently you've had a few.
Oh yeah, I've had a couple of Manhattans.
How many Manhattans do you think you've had across your life?
Oh, a lot.
10, 20,
Dad
1,000?
Dad used to make him happen when he wanted something from me. Every now and then I'd be sitting on the sofa and he'd say, "Here, have a minute."
And then he
Yeah,
asked for something?
yeah.
For example?
No,
What did he ask
nothing.
you for?
Love.
Ah!
I can't.
Dad. Okay.
He knew it would affect me right away. I'd be relaxed, you know. Well, whatever.
Yep, that's why we have.
I had it
kids.
probably at least 8 times.
Best romantic date with Dad.
Oh gosh. Who knows? Probably in the car somewhere. I don't know.
We don't want to know.
I don't know. I don't know. He went out and he came home with the tree. Oh, this tree. It was a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It was terrible. And I was crying, and he said he was laughing. He thought it was hysterical that I was crying over a Christmas tree. I said, "It's terrible, terrible." But he bought it, probably paid $1 for it. And so I said, "It's terrible." I was expecting friends to come for the first time, you know. Around New Year's Eve, I think I invited friends. I said, "It was awful, it's terrible." And I was expecting Ted at that time, too. You know, I was expecting, I had him, that was Christmas, and then I had him in March. So I was, I was upset. So he said, "Well, I'll try and do something." So he went to the shop. Well, first he went back to the place, and they didn't have any more trees. So he got some branches from the guy. So he bought all the branches, and he went to the shop and got a drill. So he drilled all holes in the tree bark, and we filled it in, and it was a beautiful tree. After all, it really was a beautiful tree. We were just careful about putting heavy stuff, but it was great. Yeah, there was a mouse running around the house in the kitchen. It was running around, and it was upsetting me. So sister said, "Do something, do it." So he got the broom and held it down with the broom. So he said, "I'll go out and do something." So he went out to the corner store. He said to the guy there, "Can I borrow your cat?" And the guy says, "What for?" And he said, "Well, I have a mouse, in my house, and I want the cat to get it." So he said, "No, you can't have the cat." He wouldn't give the cat. And he said, "Because the cat is pregnant." He wouldn't give him the cat. He came home and we laughed hysterically. He wouldn't give him the cat. Oh. And then he used to always say to me when I would go out in the morning, he would usually give me a $20 bill, He'd say, "Here, have fun. But bring back a Rembrandt."
And maybe when you leave us, maybe 30 years from now. Okay, 30. Think even.
Who knows?
30, yeah.
Don't know. Que sera.
I might play some of this video for people so they
Que
can tell the
sera.
story.
Show it to me first.
Show it to you.
Let me say, I don't like the way I said that.
Okay, I'll show it to you first. Is there anything you want to say, advice to give us as our life's going on?
Well, I just want to tell them that I'm very, very proud of all my children. You've been a joy. You gave me very little to worry about. You've had normal growing up things happen, but never anything terrible. And I know Dad would have loved that show. He was very proud of the kids. He used to say that to me. He was proud of me. He used to give me the credit for all the time. Remember? They'd say it's Terry. Terry's the one. Because I wasn't with you the most. But I think I was a little strict. Was I? And I think you need to have a little bit of, there have to be boundaries with people, And I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Lived a good life.
What?
You've lived a great life.
Yeah, I've had a wonderful life. Yeah, very, Very happy. Yes, very happy.
Mom's losing it. Ma.